Aloha, Mother Fathers. Welcome in another episode of the Side Hustle Wrestling Podcast. Of course, on YouTube, TikTok, Instagram, Facebook, audio streaming on Spotify, iHeartRadio app, and anywhere you can get your podcast. Kyle Cornell, Double A Anthony Alfred with you. As always, back. Hope you had a very happy Thanksgiving.
Can't stop, won't stop.
Oh, we need to stop.
Can't stop, won't stop. Anything I can do. I want something new. Sorry, I was watching some videos before the show today.
Yeah, which we may or may not comment on a little bit later. We'll see how the mood of the show goes.
Some videos.
Holy NXT. All right, yeah, that was something.
His name was, she meant to say Nick.
Sure she did.
Or Nate. Maybe that referee's name was Nate.
Maybe it was. Maybe it wasn't.
Maybe it was.
His name's like Phil or some bullshit. Well, we know what that meant. Okay.
Mike. Michael, maybe he has, there's a nickname for Michael.
Honestly wild, to say the least. But we're back.
Amazing, too, that Booker T's on commentary.
I can't believe it.
And then went right, to that.
What? Tell me she did not just say.
Oh, yes, she did. Yes, she did. Went right on to CW.
Still feels like a lot different when it's Jada Parker compared to Vince McMahon. I just want to point that out.
Way different.
Yeah. She's technically allowed to say that.
No.
Just probably not on TV would be for the best.
It was so smooth, though.
It was quick, and it's almost like she caught herself mid-word.
But it was too late.
Yeah.
It was too late.
Yeah.
But this is Shawn Michaels NXT. She ain't getting no discipline.
Say it again. No. Okay.
No.
Shawn, take it easy.
If there are words that we could say, it's in 1997 again. My goodness.
Wow.
Get the state of the DX. We will no longer say these words. No, we'll say these words.
In this case, you should just never say this word.
Never. Well, welcome to the show.
Yeah.
I hope you guys had a phenomenal Thanksgiving.
How was your Thanksgiving?
It was pretty good.
Yeah.
It was pretty good. Food, of course, enjoyed it. Family and whatnot. The Bears choked. What else is new?
Are you a closet Bears fan now? What the hell?
No. It was funny how the game ended though. Like they came back and then of course they couldn't handle basic clock management. It was in front of a national audience, and then the coach was fired the next day.
I actually didn't eat dinner until like 5:30, so I didn't really watch the game.
I used to eat dinner that late.
We were told 3:30, 4 o'clock, but not everyone got there until 5.
We were told that, but Rebecca's fit. They eat early.
Yeah,
so they eat 2 o'clock.
Well,
I actually got a workout. I actually did something new this year.
Oh, no.
I actually worked out on Thanksgiving morning.
I thought about it, but I was like, nah.
Honestly, I advise you to do it. Did you eat anything before dinner, like a snack or something like that? Honestly, do a lower body workout on Thanksgiving.
Well, I also burned 2,000 calories on Wednesday, the day before.
Oh, okay, yeah, that's fine.
I tried to cover almost 2 days worth.
I didn't work out the day before, but Thanksgiving morning, get a good workout in. If you're not cooking, honestly, it might be a good idea to get out of the house. You're not in the way, so got a good workout in, build up the appetite, and come 2 o'clock, I was ready to eat.
I had 3 plates on Thanksgiving.
Only had 2. I'm slipping.
Well, I had 2 at my uncle's, and then I went up to my brother's afterwards too, and I had 1 there because I felt like I had to, because he was a chef and everything too. So you kind of have to eat something.
Can't turn that down.
Yeah.
But then
still full from it.
I imagine.
I
imagine. But but of course, then you had Survivor Series, so we'll skip over that for now. And then Raw, which we will not skip over because that show was amazing. And so much to talk about from the fallout from Monday Night Raw. You seen in the rundown there. I almost was like, should we still call the New Day segment was the best segment? Should we still call it the sweet moment? Because that was very sour. What happened? That breakup was very sour.
It depends on how you take it.
Again, I didn't want to say sour as in, this is bad. A lot of people like sour. This is like, that was bitter.
Wait, no, you hate sour.
That was bitter. Oh, my goodness. We'll talk about that in just a moment.
Makes your cheeks pucker.
Man.
Take that as you want.
I was heartbroken. But we'll talk about it. Punk and Seth Rollins, they're back at it.
They finally touched each other.
Yeah. People are questioning CM Punk's UFC resume, though, because of the...
Hey, don't hit him. Okay, I'll miss.
Yeah.
Like, what?
Yeah. But that feud's back on track. We will react to Survivor Series, though. The OG Bloodline won. So, now what? We'll talk about that a little bit.
Hold it if you're going to...
We're going to hold it.
Yeah.
And then Dom Mysterio cheered. Dom Mysterio cheered. Look, listen.
Starting to work.
Listen. Hear me out. Now, listen. He still needs to be a heel in my scenario. He cannot be a babyface in my Royal Rumble scenario here. But hear me out. I'm telling you, there's some juice there with Dom. There's some juice there. We'll also talk about the Women's IC Championship tournament.
That's good, OJ. Oh, sorry, you're talking about...
We'll talk about that as well. And then there's a line down here. This is more so of a summary of everything that's going on within the storytelling of WWE programming. We'll dive more into this next week, that last line. But one of the great things about the Attitude Era, yes, you had Stone Cold and you had The Rock and Triple H and Vince McMahon. You had a whole cast of characters who were deemed good guys. But they all, yes, they had the same mission statement in terms of we want to win the championship, but none of them had the same personality. And that's what's intriguing about what we saw in the first 30 minutes of Raw. You saw the different conflicts. You saw the different storyline, the different motivations. Seth Rollins thinking about CM Punk for the last 6 months. CM Punk said, I haven't thought about you for a second. He's motivated by championships. He's willing to work with Paul Heyman and willing to work with the Bloodline. Meanwhile, you got other people on the roster who's like, working with Roman Reigns is like you're working with the devil. Like, there's so much in there, so much personal motivation. Sami Zayn would, he's emotional. And, he has a heart, but he's emotional. This is so much. So we're going to talk a little bit about that. But let's get to it right now. Our BA Sweeties sweet or sour moment of the week, brought to you by BA Sweeties. I'm hurt. I ain't gonna lie to you. I'm hurt. Man, Big E got kicked out of the New Day like he was in a BET movie. Like it was Temptations, and the rest of the group was standing at the door. They're just looking like this. Out in the distance, it's like, David, we don't need you. Eddie, we don't need you. And he's just standing out there. This hurts.
The best part about this segment, which I've talked about multiple times over the near year we've done this show now, is everything the guy said, true. You can disagree with it or not like it or like the reasoning for it, but yeah, you broke your neck. So what? You could have been back within a year managing us like you just said you were going to help us, to keep us moving in the right direction, to be a group, to be family. It's us. And he didn't come back. He took the job doing kickoff shows and being an ambassador instead of actually going and being with his brothers.
He took that desk job next to Wade Barrett.
He did. I mean, it's all true. Like, they brought up guys that obviously came back and wrestled, like Stone Cold and Edge and all these guys, but like they didn't even really need him back wrestling. They just wanted him back with them. And a lot of people always thought Big E was kind of like the glue in between these two guys, and he brought it all together. That personality is something that you just can't mimic. Like, it is too little too late.
So let's talk about why this segment worked in the first place, because you're 100% right. For me, obviously, Xavier Woods, if you want to coin, like, who's been the heel, who's been acting heelish this entire time leading in, you would say Woods, right? Would that be an overarching statement? You're right about him speaking truth.
I don't know, man.
Like heelish,
Kofi 2 weeks ago when he laid into Woods, he really leaned into the dark side. That was a good preview of heel Kofi.
So for me, Xavier's response was perfect. Obviously, Big E riling things up. It's like I'm going to be back every week. I'm going to be back. Root you guys on. I'll be back every week.
Be your managers.
Yeah. And I'm like, let's go. I'm like, Big E, let's go. And then a second later, like, oh no.
You could tell like when they initially said when fans were cheering for E when they were talking about, yeah, we miss him too because it's true they do miss him. He's their brother, but they were going to get to the point of we are changing the New Day. Where it's not going to be us waiting on E for another year, 2 years, 5 years, whatever. We need to do something different.
Yeah.
Because it's not working. They're losing a bunch of matches.
Right.
They're not getting any individual success. Like, it's just not working. And people thought it meant that they were going to turn on each other. But this is the ultimate swerve of, we're done with you. And this leads me to believe that he is actually very close to being cleared.
He could be.
If not already been cleared, and now this is the build towards a WrestleMania story with these three.
It could be. And so... Woods, that response, right? It's like, now? The tone of that response was perfect. Spot on. Okay.
Where the fuck were you for the past, 3 years when you've technically been healed? You never even got surgery on your neck. You decided not to do that.
Right. What solidified it all. What made this segment go from, like, oh, this is pretty good, to smokes. Kofi responding. Because, yeah, you just said it a couple seconds ago. Yeah, we saw a preview of heel Kofi, but Kofi's one of those guys, he's one of those baby faces that you just don't imagine him turning back that switch. Yeah, we can always say this guy can be a heel, this guy can be a heel, this guy can be a heel. But there are certain guys on the roster where you look at a wrestling show, you say, you don't even think about him being a heel. You just don't even think about it. And when he doubled down on Woods after months of them arguing, and all of a sudden it did click because remember, before Big E came out, those two were going to make the decision to split apart.
I think their decision was going to be not them. I think it was they were going to say we're done with Big E.
Well,
I think all along that was what they came to because they had mentioned we had talked together. And when they came out, I didn't get
Go ahead. I'm sorry.
I didn't get the sense that they were upset with each other anymore when they came out. I think it was more of like a realization, more like they had a come to Jesus moment behind the scenes, what they were trying to portray, that it's not about you and it's not about me. It's about us waiting for him, and we need to stop. So we need to get rid of Big E. They were going to do it nicely and say, hey, we're moving on from Big E. But then he came out and decided now, I'm going to help you guys. I can't see to watch a fight. They're like, fuck you, man. Like, no, we were going to do this the right way. Now you can eat a dick, and we're going to make you do it in front of public because this is bullshit.
See, I disagree with the premise, even though you could be right. But I disagree with the premise. I thought the way it was presented, they were going to split apart.
Well, they swerved you.
And they did. And they did it well.
Yeah.
But the way it was going to be, all right, we hashed everything out. It was just them two making a decision because in their minds, New Day is just Kofi and Woods. In their mind, all this time now going in. And yes, and they were willing to live with, okay, E never came back. E's doing his own thing now. Now it's time for us to do our own thing. But then sometimes you see red, right? Sometimes when you reach that final decision and you're locked in on something, somebody who's been a part of your project for all this time, who had to leave, and then all of a sudden, years later, they're back. And, and then they completely misread the entire situation, which Big E did. Completely misread it.
He thought he was going to be able to save things and be able to kind of keep these guys.
Because it's like, were you not paying attention? Like, there's this angry. Did you not pick up the phone and talk to them? Did you not
ask them on the what was the post show for Survivor Series? Like, hey, you got any thoughts? I've got some things, but I'm gonna hold on. It's like you never talked about it.
You never talked about it. You never talked to them.
No.
So yeah, they themselves made the choice, and then Big E jumps in, and they saw red. And even if we took from storyline standpoint that, okay, Kofi was still thinking about breaking apart. When Woods said, now you're coming back, something snapped in Kofi's head.
I think Woods is the key behind all of this. I think he's also the one that convinced Kofi that this isn't a me or you problem.
Mm-hmm.
This is a Big E problem. We put all of this faith in this guy who has left us for 4 years.
Mm-hmm.
Cold, nothing. And we basically put our careers on hold because of this guy. If we get rid of this guy, we're going to get back on track because it's about you and me. It's not about him anymore. And
it's not about an image that the old New Day used to be.
Yeah.
Like all the balloons and stuff. And,
obviously,
and
he's part of this whole story, but I think if he wasn't a part of this and for some reason couldn't be there, I think that still would have been the end result. But you may have seen us have our disagreements these past few weeks, but we came to realize that there has been one issue, and that is obviously E. We need to move on from that. We need to form a new Day that has a different perspective and a different mindset. That leads to both of them obviously being heels now. And then I imagine if E does get inserted back into a storyline with them, it'll tie into maybe Kofi being the one that maybe leans a little back into. I do kind of miss E, but was like doubling down, like, no, we can't do that because Xavier plays a really good heel.
I want to see heel Kofi now.
You will.
It's
not going to be immediate. I mean, maybe the Rumble is when he makes a return or something like that. I don't know. A safe match where he can't get fucked up too bad. So, I mean, I don't know. I mean
how two things as far as like storytelling with this segment. Number one, little nugget, the commentary drop as Big E was walking to the ring, as you mentioned, the time missed. It was like, yeah, Big E's first time on Raw or SmackDown in 4 years.
Mm-hmm.
And we're saying, now in retrospect, wait a minute.
Yeah.
You've been on these pre-shows. You're on every pre-show. You couldn't talk to these guys? You couldn't mediate and go in?
It's a new girlfriend he's got, too, taking up all his time.
New lady friend, that's sitting there. By the way, she wants to smoke. Like, she's in there. But then the second thing, man, Kofi, when Big E was, maybe it was an expectation that, Woods was, like, unsettled in the first place. So Big E tried to go over to Kofi. It's like, hey, wait a minute. And then that, man, that temptation, get away from me. I don't have to do like that no more. This ain't, you stay over there.
Even the way down to the way they dressed. Woods trying to look like a champion, dressing up. Kofi, always the flamboyant colors and all the different stuff. He's dressed like he just came off the street, just hanging out, went to the club or something. Like they just have different attitudes now. I'm excited for this, just from a standpoint of we get to see a new version of these two. If it's a tag team, if it's them going off individually, who knows? But I mean, for right now, it seems like they're still going to hang out together. It's just us. I mean, especially with Raw, the tag team scene kind of being a little cloudy as far as who should be at the top because Judgment Day is having their own issues right now. I mean,
hell, a month from now they could be on SmackDown for all we know.
We don't know what the fuck. I mean, I would imagine with the Netflix stuff, they're going to keep a lot of the big acts over on Raw, at least initially, until a draft happens sometime probably in April after WrestleMania or whatever. But I mean, this is not bad.
I never thought in my wildest dreams we have waited months. We've talked about this story for months on this show. I didn't think they would turn together.
Everyone thought they would turn on each other because E wouldn't be even in the equation. Maybe E would come back and try to save it, but it'd be too late. They would just be at each other's throats. But no one thought that it would be E coming back and them saying, no, you're the reason.
I think they have to explain, though, going forward. They're going to have to explain. The Big E part, I completely understand. They're going to have to explain the motivation of staying together after that big blow-up they had last week. I think backstage. On television, they're going to have to explain because that was a lot. That was deep-rooted stuff.
Have you ever had, so you have brothers?
Yeah.
You ever had, one of those big fights with them where you're just like, you need to get this shit out. You had to get it, maybe even you got physical, whatever it is, and you had to get it out of your system. But then the next day you felt a little better?
Yeah.
Maybe that's what they needed.
That's cool. I just want to see
it's relatable.
I want to see that play out on television.
Yeah, I don't blame you.
Honestly, it could be one line. It could be we had our differences of opinion, but we realized we're stronger together.
I mean,
we're going to accomplish our dreams together. And even if they do split apart, Woods is going to get his first singles championship. New Day as a tag team is going to elevate themselves to the top of the division and hurt everybody in the process. Like, it's just those things. If you play it out on television, just a bit. You don't have to give the whole thing away.
Well, they said they
talked.
Just
play it out.
They said they had a conversation after everything went down.
Yeah.
At the end of it, too, was the clapping hands together like, hey, it's me and you, it's us.
And then double down on why you kicked Big E out. Like, double down. Like, really, I would have...
I play the crowd. Like, honestly, you miss E? Oh, dude.
Honestly, open Raw next week with exactly what you just said. Oh, you miss E? You miss him?
So do we. Yeah.
Hey, you milk it, and you're set. I think they'll be great. It's a new day. Yes, it is. And that's our sweet moment of the week. Might be sour to Big E, but it's sweet to the rest of us because New Day, for the first time in a long time, is fresh.
Tell you what, Big E, after that face he was making when he got dumped by his former brother, is looking like he had some of that sour racha from B.A. Sweetie, because, my goodness.
Man.
That face puckered more than an asshole in the winter, I'll tell you what.
Man. After all the turkey and
it's
all
cold
the
out
stuffing, here. And it is, it's cold, and once you get out of the snow belt, and if you're watching right now, it's probably Thursday morning, and I'm sure Pete's digging out of the snow right now. Thursday morning, right there.
Gotta get one of those heated driveways.
Yeah, that's not a bad idea.
It's actually real smart.
Well, unfortunately, you cannot get a heated driveway at B.A. Sweeties, but you can get phenomenal candy. And phenomenal holiday treats as we head into, it's December, you're counting down to Christmas and all the holidays and whatnot. A lot of great specials going on at B.A. Sweeties here in the month of December.
It's a fantastic month, of course, from the different candy they have. Also the sweets, the sour stuff too. We talked about it jokingly with Big E, but again, it's one of their most popular items, all different sour options they have as well. And this is that time of year where obviously the kids are getting excited about it too. If they haven't finished the Halloween candy yet, they're getting pretty close, I'd imagine, because it's been a month and a half.
Oh, the Halloween candy's finished.
I mean,
they finished it.
Back in our day when we went trick or treating, we had Halloween candy until like next Halloween. We were getting 4 or 5 pillowcases full of that shit. And if our parents were eating all of it, we were getting pretty damn close. But I mean,
well, here's the cool thing too.
It's that time, man.
With the holiday season, obviously you have family coming in from Thanksgiving. If you never been to B.A. Sweeties, if you're from out of town, it's about that time to check it out. And we've seen it. We've seen the testimonies. We've seen it. We were there when a family from Southern Illinois came in, walked over to Tom. We were late coming back on the air because Tom and us, and we were talking to this family that came out about 7 hours out and wanted to try out B.A. Sweeties during the Halloween season.
It's a true destination here in Northeast Ohio. And honestly, if you think about it, really in the continent, North America, again, it's the largest candy store here in North America. It's one of those things, if you're driving through Northeast Ohio, especially for the holidays, you got family over here, whatever it is, make it part of your plan to stop and check out B.A. Sweetie. You're not going to be disappointed.
And here's what you can see and get at B.A. Sweeties. Double A Anthony Alfred here for Sweeties, a family destination satisfying sweet tooths in Northeast Ohio on Brook Park Road for over 74 years. The largest candy store in North America with 40,000 square feet stacked to the rafters with over $5 million in inventory. Come down to Sweeties today on Brook Park Road at Ridge. Just look for the giant lollipops. B.A. Sweeties. 75 years. Coming up on 75 years, as Kyle just mentioned a moment ago.
2025, yeah, it's going to be that.
Largest candy store in North America. Not even joking, too. I'll give you another excuse to go to B.A. Sweeties and earn your candy. You want to get your steps in? You just saw that fly over. You just saw that. Get your steps in at B.A. Sweeties in that warehouse.
I'm going to ask Tom again the square footage of the warehouse they have, because it's honestly insane. Like I said, if you walk down every aisle, you may end up walking more than enough for your 10,000 for the day, just being able to explore B.A. Sweetie. It's honestly insane.
It's great. We're going to play something for you a little later in the show where I asked Tom, I'm like, do you know where every item is located?
You're going to love his answer to that. Yeah.
You'll love the answer. You'll see that coming up later on in the show, or hear the answer if you're listening to our show. 6770 Brook Park Road. 6770 Brook Park Road in Cleveland, Ohio. Interstate 480, the Ridge Road exit, which was popping, by the way, yesterday. The Ridge Road exit, make a left on Brook Park Road, and the giant lollipop, you cannot miss it. You will not miss it. Turn right in to B.A. Sweeties, the candy, the different soda flavors that they have there. They have a ton, 30 soda flavors. So definitely check it out. And then don't forget, this spring, the mini golf returns coming in the spring. So
crown jewel of BA Sweetie mini golf back in 2025.
We cannot wait. Of course, again, 6770 Brook Park Road, Cleveland, Ohio. BA Sweeties, the largest candy store in North America for over 74 years.
Maybe next week too, AA will bring in this special soda we have.
I might have. You know what? I'm gonna have to go back and it's probably flat now. I'm gonna have to.
Did you open it already?
No, not yet.
It's not flat if it's still closed.
It is okay.
Yeah.
All right. Next week. So real quick, one of the things at BA Sweeties, they have like really, really good tasting. You know, your classic Cokes, your classic cream sodas, and a lot of cool pop flavors.
200 different kinds, I think, yeah.
Yeah. They also have certain unique flavors. One of these weeks, I'm going to remember to actually bring it in.
Well, Tom, obviously, if you guys have watched the show over the past number of weeks, he gave us some stuff to sample for you guys so we can kind of see what it was like. If we already haven't tried it, which some of the stuff we already did. But, I mean,
yeah, we blew through our inventory within the first 3 weeks.
Yeah, it went by pretty quick.
He gave us a box, and we blew through.
And there was a lot of, as Double A mentioned, really good tasting pop and soda and different kinds of things. But there are some that have a unique flavor.
I'll say some of it ain't good, and one of them, and maybe one of them. Okay, the bottle that I have to bring in is a toenail soda. Tastes like a toenail.
Probably gonna be the most delicious toenail I've ever tasted. It'd also be the first toenail I've ever tasted.
This guy.
We don't know what it's gonna taste like. I'm not gonna listen. I thank my stepmom for giving me the mental openness to try anything at least once.
Okay, I'll give you that.
So I don't know. I don't know what this is going to taste like. Is it going to literally taste like I put my foot in my mouth? Probably not. So I'm looking forward to trying this. I know you are too. We'll break out one of the solo cups. A couple of them. We'll split it.
Pete, you want to try it? Just okay. Pete,
you want to put my foot in your mouth? All right, cool. No, but it should be good. Speaking of being good,
let's move on. It's funny that I said let's move on. And Seth Rollins has not moved on. He is
literally a year to the day almost. Because we went to that Raw back in December of
did.
Last year. We both were at the show. When these two first had that first interaction.
The very first line.
I can't quit you, baby.
The very first line, Seth Rollins, when he walks into the ring. I should have knocked your ass out when I had the chance. The very first line. So how about it? First off, we both love the fact that I guess now they're going back to. But was there a little, for me personally, for a split second, when Seth Rollins' music hit, a little bit of a letdown. For me personally, initially, because I was all in. I was ready to see CM Punk now go after that world championship. Punk got me excited about him main eventing or going to WrestleMania, finding paths to get to that crown jewel, that point, over to Stephanie and whoever it was, to nobody, to the sign, to the imaginary sign, that point there. And I'm like, okay, all right, Punk's been dealing with these personal feuds for the last year. Now it's time for Punk to go after a championship. He did his thing. He did his duty. Now it's time to go after it. And for a split second, when Seth Rollins came out, I reacted exactly how Punk reacted. And then I'm like, snap out of it. This is greatness. We're back at it.
You never know. A championship may be involved in this at some point, so we'll see. But, I mean, I wasn't expecting Gunther just because he has, again, we talked about Judgment Day a little bit before, some of that shit to go through. And he needs to be worried, I think, about Finn in that match. Something just tells me he needs to be concerned. But, I mean, this has always been the money feud. Now, besides the fact that Punk obviously just shit on WWE for a while, I do not know why Seth is mad at him. I think they need to reestablish that a little bit because it's been a long time since they've really been in the ring like this together.
Yeah.
I mean, there's not really... Did he mistreat you when you first came into the business? That was Drew's thing. Okay, so what's yours, Seth? Because he badmouthed WWE for a long time? You're friends with those guys over there in AEW too. I mean, use that. I don't know. Like, find something. that make this make sense, because it can't just be because you're both really good.
Mm-hmm.
You have to bring everyone back into the fold about why you hate this dude, why you should have knocked him out when you had the chance originally.
And from a character standpoint,
you've done so much since then.
Yeah.
So it's like, why? Okay, why are we back to this now?
Well,
why are you not? Why is he not going after Gunther?
Listen. Everything on Punk's side makes sense.
Yeah.
6 months ago, from a business standpoint,
you had what I wanted.
You had a championship. Now you have nothing. Why are you here? So hopefully they will establish that with Seth. Now, I think it was important too, from a pure surface level standpoint. We know the deep ends of it, but from a surface level, they're both baby faces. So to your point, why is Seth Rollins going after CM Punk again? I think that's important to establish on the surface level. I think we know if you've already dug in, obviously if you watched this show, you probably know the reason. But from a surface level standpoint, it needs to be reestablished.
I think Bronson Reed getting hurt too threw a wrench in a couple different stories, because I do think that there was a possibility they would have threw him with Punk for a filler feud before Rumble. Just because.
Remind me when Bronson got hurt again.
Oh, War Games match.
Oh, yeah.
When he jumped off the top of the War Games and rolled both his ankles or whatever it was.
About that, I thought he was going to get right back up.
Remember, Punk was the one that in the pre-match, he shoved Bronson in the face, he mushed him.
Mm-hmm.
So there could have been a tie-in there. Yeah. That could have been a nice little filler
thing
they
for blocked
Punk.
that out, too, on the thing. But you could have circled back to it.
But, I mean, like, that's one of those things where it's like, okay, that could lead to a story. Then, obviously, McIntyre returning later in the night. They were saying maybe it was supposed to be Bronson that attacked Sammy instead. So there are different levels in which he could have been involved. But this is a nice little thing. I imagine they're both going to be in the Rumble. So they'll have this story kind of rolling through. And does it need to have a championship in it? Not necessarily. You also have to think for Triple H too long term. There's 2 nights of SummerSlam now coming up next year.
Oh, so, SummerSlam, yeah.
Yeah, so in New York. So, I mean, you can double down and have Punk go for a title at SummerSlam because he's going to have an opportunity. And this could still be worthy of a main event level match on night 1 of WrestleMania this year if they end up getting to that point, just because of how, and we've seen like, oh yeah, Kevin Owens and Stone Cold main evented. A tag team title match main evented night 1. Night 1 can be more fluctuating with it. I imagine The Rock's not going to want to wrestle twice, or Roman's not going to want to wrestle twice again, or Cody will be obviously on night 2 with his title. So, I mean, it opens the door.
Well, if you go that far to SummerSlam, remember the favor, right?
Yep.
And that favor, that honestly, if you're forecasting where things are going way out in the distance long term, Roman Punk at SummerSlam makes sense with Rollins or somewhere along, because I would imagine you're not getting Roman Punk at Mania.
What's Cody's story now? So if Roman, we don't know what he's going to do next. We're assuming it's going to be a match with Solo relatively soon.
Well, word on the street is that The Rock is not penciled in for Mania.
Okay.
That's word on the street.
Well, that's what Dave Meltzer says.
And again, you can adjust and do whatever. But
he also runs the fucking company, so if he wants to show up, he'll be there.
Yeah.
So,
or if he doesn't want to show up.
I doubt it. It's also in
it's
Vegas.
In Las Vegas.
The Rock loves Vegas. It's not that far from L.A.
Yeah.
He could fly there direct from Hawaii if he wanted to or whatever. I mean, I doubt that The Rock will miss, especially because they're going to want to top what happened last year. I just don't know. Is The Rock's story more with Cody or is it more with I don't know.
Well, we'll talk more about the Bloodline here in a couple minutes.
Because if Roman comes and beats Cody for the title again, then that's the favor. Punk and Roman at WrestleMania for the title. And Punk doesn't have to win. That's just his. I got my main event.
Yeah,
he never cared about what he even said. It's never about winning the championship again. Obviously, it'd be nice, but that's my main eventing WrestleMania and winning the Royal Rumble are probably his last 2 big. I need to do this before I'm done.
I didn't think there was a. That's interesting. Interesting point. I didn't think Roman Punk at Mania was possible.
Because Cody and Rock. That seems to be more of like what they're trying to do, and that for the People's Championship. There's a way to throw in a title if you really need it, but that feud doesn't really need a title because Rock is still like, hey.
And even if,
It'd be nice if it was in.
If you want to throw a prop, that's that.
But also, The Rock can't be a champion right now.
My biggest thing going back to these two right now, I guess what are they going for at this moment, right? So obviously, bringing Punk back into the Punk now. All right, I don't like this guy anymore. And then, so when are they going to fight? Are they going to fight at main event? That seems a little too early.
No.
Are they going to fight on the Netflix debut?
No.
So are they going to? So they're going to not touch it, or not? They touched last Monday. Are they going to not have a match until what? Royal Rumble?
They won't have a match until WrestleMania if they have one. What they will have is confrontations on the shows, as well as probably in the Rumble. Maybe even an Elimination Chamber. They might both be in the match. I don't know.
So what are they? So I guess my question would be...
The world title will be the backdrop for it, I'm sure, too. Like, who's going to be that guy to step up to Gunther once this little Finn Balor, Damian Priest experiment kind of rolls through, and Priest will still be involved, I'm sure, in some of the upper mid-card stuff, but he won't get another shot for a while. So.
I guess my thing is I think it was important here. Seth and Sammy had their match, and it's clear. It seems clear now that Sammy has moved on to Drew McIntyre.
Move back to Drew McIntyre.
Move back to Drew McIntyre.
So easily we forget.
Yeah, that seems it seems clear, right?
He needs to go to SmackDown.
And then Jey Uso's in there too. I guess I'm just looking at what stories are being rolled out right now, what's being presented, and it's like if they don't fight until Mania. What are they like? What is Punk gonna do if I'm just gonna throw this out there? Say Finn Balor wins the world title at main event. I'm not saying he will. I'm just tossing it out there.
You never fucking know. He's a Triple H guy. So
yeah, let's say they want to surprise Finn Balor wins the championship. Well, they can't. Well, they're gonna have to run it back, and then that's even more time. Maybe you got the Netflix, the Netflix debut.
It'd be at Rumble.
You got something there. So I if they're not going to touch, if it's just going to be more of confrontations, then they at least Rollins has to have something else to do.
Well, okay, so think about it. All the stuff with the Bloodline feuding and everything too. I mean, they didn't have a match every week. There was a lot of promos. There was a lot of build up to it. These guys aren't done with each other. Like they're gonna build up to a huge match. It's not about having 10 matches before WrestleMania. So they're both seasoned pros that have done this for decades and decades. It's about building to an ultimate huge match, whether it's at WrestleMania, whenever, and to give it the proper time. Because now, again, remember, they were going to build this last year after Rumble. It was going to be a build to Seth and Punk for the title at Mania or whatever. And that obviously didn't happen because Punk got hurt. So now they're taking this opportunity. It's only a month, 2 months sooner than what they would have done last year. But now there's even more story behind both of them and what they've been through over the past year, all that stuff. So it's layers into it. I don't need to see a match at main event or even at Rumble. They can both be involved in the match because they both have that goal of being champion again. But that goal can be present with their feud as well, with the backdrop being that, okay, the ultimate goal is to be champ again, WWE champ, World Heavyweight champ, whatever, but I fucking hate you.
My prediction, I think they will have a match. I think the Netflix debut, I think they'll have a match. That's my
remember,
prediction.
too, The Rock's going to be at that. Cena's going to be at that. They're going to have a lot of shit going on. I don't know if they have time for that.
Oh, they'll have time. This is Netflix. We're not talking about
They're not going to have a 5-hour show.
No, it's not going to be a 5-hour show, but if it's 2.5 hours.
It'll be 3.
3 hours. If you want a staple main event.
Well, we know the main event already. I told you what the main event is.
Which is?
So it's kind of they've leaked certain things, but it's Cena and Punk versus Gunther and Kaiser in the main event of the Netflix Raw.
Yeah.
I don't mind that because that obviously leads to the direction of Cena challenging Gunther next, which is good. Get it out of the way quick. Or Punk being that guy. Who knows? I mean, he could avoid Royal Rumble altogether and just be in a championship match that night. I have no idea. So, we'll see. Maybe The Undertaker will come back. I have no fucking clue.
Kane.
All hands on deck. No, did you see Gain versus Blue Cane?
I have not. No.
So Gain is the gay Kane on the Independents, and when he does like the fire, he does this, and then he dances around the ring, and he kisses his opponent, and then Blue Cane is just Blue Cane. There's also Cocaine.
It's okay.
He snorts a bunch of white powder before, and then he loses his fucking mind. Kind of like when the bell would ring and Festus would
they
go
all
over to
sound
attack
like
people.
they should run for political office. All of them. All of them.
And you two one day can be the mayor of Knox County.
Oh, let them debate local politics. We'll cover it.
Gain, Blue Cane.
We will cover it.
Cocaine.
OG Bloodline. They won. I have nothing.
The best part about the show was the post show, the press conference with Punk asking
so
for
what
Muffins
Punk
again.
is doing right now, that's kind of how I feel about this feud. Look, here I will give them one benefit of the doubt, as we mentioned, and I saw this right. So we'll talk a little bit about Survivor Series momentarily, but you got Saturday night's main event coming up. You got the Netflix debut. You got the Royal Rumble. You got a second Saturday night's main event before the Royal Rumble, and then you got Elimination Chamber, all within a span, I believe, of 140 days. So there's a lot of events where they have to deliver. So maybe, Survivor Series still sucked, but you still gotta.
I don't know if it sucked. It just wasn't. We were expecting something to come out of it, like some sort of surprise. They saved that obviously for Monday. So,
Okay, so I guess literally my question is now what with the Bloodline? The CM Punk thing aside, that was established. CM Punk came in. CM Punk did business. He did his job. He's out of the picture momentarily. Sami Zayn on Monday said it wasn't my choice to have CM Punk in this match. But even, again, Sami Zayn, in a sense, out of the picture from that discussion. I guess now, is the whole story now, Roman really hasn't changed at all, and Roman will eventually burn the family again?
I think the story now is Roman's still not the tribal chief. He has to beat Solo one-on-one. He hasn't done that yet. They've won a tag team match, I think, and then they won the 5-on-5 match. So it needs to be tribal combat, one-on-one, for the Ulafala. That's the end all of that story. Otherwise, now there's still two bloodlines.
Yeah.
Solo's still in charge. He went 5-on-1. The family would look at that as honorable. He didn't go down. He didn't hand over anything. He stood and he fought till the very end. So he still has a right. He still has his three guys with him. So does Roman. So, I mean, there needs to be that one-on-one match. He seemed very non-committal, Roman did, to being at Saturday night's main event, so it leads me to believe they'll have that match at Rumble, which means 6 more weeks of build to a one-on-one match finally.
And Roman will be on television, 3 or 4 out of the 6 weeks in person.
Which is good.
And you can run tape.
And don't forget, maybe the Netflix Raw is where they have a confrontation where they make the match official.
Yeah.
That kind of stuff. I mean, they have an ability to do that. I would have done it at Saturday night's main event, but you also got to think, too, they already have 3 title matches that night.
And I looked at the schedule. I looked at NBC's schedule. Didn't realize Saturday night's main event's only 2 hours long.
Yeah.
It's not 3.
Yeah.
So
8 to 10.
Yeah, and it's a loaded,
a loaded
card.
They got a lot of shit going on that night. Cody's defending the title, too, so that's going to be the main event. So, I mean, you're kind of like you're in a situation where you can't really do it that night. So,
I want to see whenever they're ready to do this. I want to see. I think now is the time for the. They almost did it years ago. They never went through with it. But what was it? The tribal family court thing or something
with Sammy when they were originally gonna. I know what you're talking about.
But I want them
to bring in the elders.
Yeah.
The problem is a couple of them are dead now. I mean, that's the sad part.
But give Rikishi.
If Rikishi is the one that can pull the strings behind closed doors,
you give Rikishi.
I love you, buddy, but no. No.
You get a few other important family members.
A couple old heads.
Get some old heads in there, and have them support Solo. There needs to be something like. But this has to feel the way I feel about this story right here, right now. This has to feel of oh, cool, Roman wins, and he didn't really change much. He adapted, but he didn't really change.
He said,
"Here we go again."
But now, remember what Solo said after WrestleMania to Paul? He said, "Losing has consequences, right?"
Mm-hmm.
So, Solo, losing has consequences. We need to have this match because you are not the Tribal Chief. Like, he can. There's a way to use his words against him in that front, and it needs to be a one-on-one match with those two. After that, then I have no clue, because then I don't know who goes with who. I mean, does that mean that Roman's going to absorb? Does that mean he starts to alienate the Usos and Sammy because now he has, the Tongans and Jacob Fatu running for him? They finally agree to acknowledge him. I mean, does that mean they go rogue?
Good.
I mean, we've seen you go crazy before, so I mean, you never.
Somebody did a meme.
It's almost like he started a club one time with another guy on the roster over on Raw that's maybe on the outs too, that maybe could form in WWE. I don't know. Maybe they'll decide to do something with that.
Somebody did a meme of climbing a cage like Super Mario Brothers.
Yeah. Yeah.
It was like
I still can't get over the introductions too. University. A doctorate.
They did a great job. Yeah.
It was so funny.
They did a great job with those. That was fantastic. I love the sports presentation. One of the things Triple H brought into WWE. I love one little side story I'm intrigued by, and Seth Rollins actually set this up. Remember that little quick line that Seth Rollins had to Jey Uso during the whole CM Punk confrontation and whatnot? Oh, go back to Roman. And then he apologized. It was like, okay, you're family. I wonder how many, quote-unquote, side missions Jey Uso's going to have to fight because you got a ton of people who still do not associate with evil Roman Reigns.
And Roman, like you said, has not changed.
Mm-hmm.
He literally, and that's I think that's his big story now too.
Yeah. And Sammy with Drew McIntyre. That's going to be the other thesis too.
Yeah, but like Roman hasn't done anything. He hasn't apologized to anybody. He didn't apologize to Paul for not responding to him at all. None of that. I did what I needed to do. What? Like, he has a lot to atone for. And obviously we'll find out more Friday and then throughout the season because now we need to figure out his direction for WrestleMania too.
Mm-hmm.
Guy's been in the main event like 8,000 times. I'm assuming he's going to be near it again. But I mean, it's just one of those things where we don't really know. And I think that's part of what I told you Saturday night too. I was like, hey, I mean, if you leave a show with a couple answers and 1,000 more questions, it makes you want to watch more.
It does.
Figure out what the fuck they're going to do next because we don't know.
But the other thing, you got to give them a draw too, and that's just like, I don't know.
This didn't feel like the show to do. Hindsight now, feeling like it was something where something big needed to happen.
Well,
if you had nothing on the books, like they didn't have any super major big return.
Well,
Becky wasn't coming back.
Yeah,
there wasn't anything where it's like, okay.
To be fair, technically, they did follow through with a story.
They did.
Which was how would CM Punk and Roman Reigns coexist.
Yeah.
So I'm not saying they did not follow through with storyline progression. They did.
Because they had Paul and Punk return together and all that stuff. And then now the question was, okay, when's Drew coming back? We got that answer on Raw. So, I mean.
Now, if would I be upset if I paid $50 to watch Survivor Series? Sure. But we didn't pay $50. So, so.
The quality of the matches was good. The Women's War Games, I think, is getting a lot of people are saying, oh, it was great. And it's like a lot of shit, which is hard to do with 10 people in the ring anyway. But a lot of the stuff was pulled. And
I go back to what I said on our Thanksgiving show.
Yeah.
And like, you can switch this up. It's cool. One War Games match, one traditional Survivor Series match. I think a traditional Survivor Series 5-on-5 with the women this year would have been perfect. I think sometimes when you involve weapons in a match, you have to realize, wait a minute, in terms of storyline, is there enough storyline hatred to warrant Io Sky going into the ring with a fire extinguisher? Even though it was a cool spot, really cool spot. Like, is it worth her going into a trash can and smashing into the other team? Again, I am not taking a shot at Io Sky whatsoever
Yeah.
because she's one of my favorites. I'm just saying all the stuff that they did in this match, did the hatred, maybe other than Rhea Ripley, because she still can't get over Dom Mysterio for some stupid reason, is there enough hate to warrant that type of a match? I just don't think it was.
Well, look at this past year, Bad Blood, Hell in a Cell, one Hell in a Cell, Drew and Punk, blood feud, 9 months long, end it. Like, you want to save these there's one. They're doing the Elimination Chamber. There's probably going to be 2. But like, at least if there's a title involved.
But at least with Elimination Chamber, there is
a title or something.
A title or a spot or
WrestleMania. Number one contenders match, whatever.
Yeah.
I mean, with War Games, it's supposed to be a blow off of a lot of these feuds, but you talked about it before. I mean, we're kind of getting the extension of both sides, the men and the women, because Roman and Solo still need to do their thing, but there's still 2 bloodlines, and on the other side, Rhea's still kind of hanging out, with this Liv thing and Raquel and all that stuff. And obviously we know with Tiffany, Candice, and Nia are still going to be in a thing, and with Naomi and Bayley and these ones. And it didn't feel like it was an ending. It felt like kind of a stopgap in between other stories that were going on. And it's going to look cool. I mean, I think you're right. It would also be cool to be like, oh, I was the Iron Survivor, whatever it was, the Lone Survivor, whatever they called them. That's how Randy built his legacy at Survivor Series, being the last guy.
Imagine if I'm not taking a shot at Io Sky, I swear.
Oh, but reserve it for the hottest feud.
No. Imagine if Io Sky would have been the last survivor. How much she would have been pushed. All of a sudden, she has a championship match at Saturday Night's Main Event. But then you could coin in the sole survivor, Io Sky. Number 1 contender for the world title.
She outlasted everybody else, all that stuff. Yeah, it only gives her more credibility. Not that she needs more, but I mean, it's almost like it adds more to the table with that. And it's a different match. I mean, that's. And plus, they're opening. And again, I think that should be saved for, just like Hell in a Cell, for the best feud that makes the most sense with teams that make the most sense. Also, the teams didn't. You had 2 champions on one side with Tiffany, who maybe at some point she'll cash in. I told you, I think she should be the first person not to cash in.
I'm starting to lean towards her idea.
And she should take it to Money in the Bank next year. She should be the one that walks up the ladder and hooks it back up. She has the match, and she wins it again. And
they're going to tell her it's a stipulation, like, hey, you had a year to do this. This is day 365. Like, you haven't done it. And you won it on a leap year. So, like, you had a chance.
We gave you an extra day.
We gave you an extra day.
366 days. You still didn't fucking do it.
See, here's a look at the men's match, which, from a storyline standpoint, this felt more like, even though, yes, it is a progression of, the stories don't end, but it has been a long lead up to this War Games match. That's different than what we saw with the women.
Yeah. 100%.
But you do have that.
No, it's not.
And it's not his turn. It's actually my turn. As you can see, I did not switch all the graphics. But coming up, I am sick and tired of the moaning going on from AEW.
Huh?
It's not even good ones either. It's just like, stop crying. You're not the bad. You're not the victims here.
What it sounds like when my mom cuts my chicken in the basement.
You're not the victims here. You are operating a business. Stop playing victim. We'll talk about that coming up in our new installment.
It's been a while since I shit on AEW fans. Hold on.
No, it's not even. I'm here. I can't even blame the fans because there are barely any left. Yeah, we got all that coming up. You're going to hear from them coming up here in just a little bit. Remember I teased earlier? Tom, do you know where all the stuff is at the store?
Mm-hmm.
You're about to hear his response right now. Tom, do you know where everything is here in the store?
No.
Okay.
In a general idea, I do, but I can't tell you how many times my office is on the floor of the store,
right? And
my door is always open. All our managers' doors are always open if they're there. So if any customer has a question or whatever, if they can't find an employee, stock guy or whatever on the floor, they can just, hey, where's this at? So I can't tell you how many times a customer would come in and say, can you tell me where sugar-free candy is? And I'll say 12N. No, say no. 12S.
Yeah.
Okay, thank you. And it says it's right down. Go down this way because you're in aisle 7 now. 5 more aisles or whatever. And then I'll think about it after they leave, and I'm like, oh man, I told them the wrong aisle. It's aisle 13.
What should fans who might be watching you here in Cleveland for the first time, hey, they look you up on the website, on the app, they call you, what should they expect?
Yeah, I mean, first off, between me and my team, you're going to get one of us. If you want to deal directly with the man, you're more than welcome to. I don't mind. I love working with customers because I look at it this way. I have a lot of good life experience financially. I said 12 years of banking. I've got now 2.5 years of insurance. I have a lot of money and just kind of life and financial stuff knowledge. So, that's what I look to do, is to truly help people, get from that point A to point B financially. It's not about just, saving money on auto insurance, sure. But if I can kind of turn that into a better discussion, really help people understand what actually insurance does, why it's important, because it's not a tangible. I joke when I leave that I lock the office door so no one steals all the insurance, but there's not just insurance laying around. So there's just it's kind of a mystery kind of component in people's lives that they think is a scam and all the different things you hear. It's not. It can feel like it sometimes. I'm not even going to say that it doesn't, but if you understand how it works and understand and have a person who you can go to help with those kind of situations, that's what we're here to do. That's what my team's here to do. That's what I'm here to do. And that's what I take a lot of pride and have a lot of passion in, obviously, as you can probably tell. So,
well, I know you said the joke, hey, we lock the door so no one steals the insurance, but it's exactly right.
So here's the craziest thing about the holiday season. The weather is nuts. All of you are seeing it now if you're here in Cleveland.
Cashews, almonds, yeah, it's nuts. That was the fakest fucking laugh you've ever had. Get the fuck out of here.
Ho.
Pimp.
Great. So the
Ho, 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 pimp.
Speak now, but that'll be on NXT and the CW pretty soon.
Get the ropes down.
A.
B.
Back to this. So my slides are out of order. My apologies. I'm like, something's off here. I put some. Anywho, this guy, Mike from State Farm. It's crazy with the holiday season, with the weather and whatnot. There's nothing worse than not having an insurance policy an insurance agent that you don't trust. With this crazy weather, with the snow, and I know, Pete's been getting hit in the snow belt like a ton. Yes, if you're on the west side, you just see grass. But one of these days, you're going to see snow too, and ice. When that day comes,
yeah.
And when that day comes,
you want to be ready.
You want to be ready. You want to be protected. And Mike from State Farm will take good care of you.
Covering news for as long as I did, this was always a time of year where it's like, hey, you know what? You got good car insurance. You got stuff taken care of, because accidents left and right, claims getting filed left and right. You want someone reliable, someone you can trust, especially if you live east of, 77. God rest your soul. But it's going to be a tough winter already. It's the first week of December, and y'all getting fucked up over there. So by all means, reach out to Mike. You see the number on the screen. Also for our radio listeners, 216-932-6900. MyFavoriteAgent.com is his website. Get a claim. It's really a focus this month and next month as we kind of go through the heavy winter months, even in the February too, about auto insurance, making sure you guys are covered with that, because this is the time of year we see a lot of crashes. A lot of people have to get to work. You have to get the kids to school, whatever it is. You have no choice. Sometimes you have to go out in these elements. First things first, obviously have a safety kit. But the second thing, make sure you have good insurance. Mike can get you set up with that.
Yes, he will. And if you already have insurance, and you don't like the policy, you don't like how much you're being charged, you don't like the person at your work.
I like State Farm, but I like my insurance. But man, my agent's a piece of shit. This guy isn't.
Mike from State Farm, he's going to take care of you, and he's a professional wrestler too.
Mm-hmm.
But again, as Kyle mentioned, this is the time right now, holiday season, because a lot of people, even in the snow, they're out shopping on a Saturday. There's nothing worse than shopping, being on the road, and then getting into a crash and you're not protected.
Right.
So you definitely want to do that. Mike from State Farm, again, he's been with us all the way since late August. He's been with us here on the Side Hustle Wrestling Podcast, and he's been with Exodus Pro since the August before that. But he's been a State Farm agent. Again, Lee Boulevard in Cleveland Heights, corner of Lee and Mayfield. And as Kyle has mentioned before, you don't even have to be in the area. Like, you don't have to live in Cleveland Heights to get his services.
That's right.
So whether you're in the snow belt or you're on the west side,
the wind belt,
the wind belt,
the east belt, the west belt, belt's too tight, belt's too loose, doesn't matter.
Mike from State Farm will take care of you. Maybe not cover your belt, but he'll take care of your home.
He can give you some advice on the belt too if you want.
Life insurance, life insurance, auto insurance, home insurance, renters, all that stuff. He'll take care of you. Also, do not sleep over the life insurance part.
No.
That part's very, very important. Yes, we already heard from the sponsors.
Excited, by the way, too. You mentioned Mike being a professional wrestler on January 18th.
Mm-hmm.
Begin again. Exodus Pro Wrestling is back over the tree lawn on Waterloo.
Yeah, he's gonna be wrestling Strictly Business.
Brandon Beretta.
And
speaking of God having mercy on someone's soul,
yeah, Strictly Business don't play. He do not play. We're gonna try to get him. We're gonna try to get both of them on the show as we lead up to their next show.
I'd love to get them both in studio, sitting across from each other, to just get the unfiltered versions of what they expect and what they want to happen on January 18th.
Well, again, remember how it was set up, too. It was, Mike was saying, I've been training, I'm ready to, professional wrestler, and then Strictly Business just came out and interrupted him.
Yeah, just walked through.
Just walked through him and Amanda, just walked right through.
Yeah, so then obviously Mike had to respond in his Red State Farm singlet, which was honestly one of the best moments I think I've seen in person, and he's...
Listen, I need to talk to him about that.
Listen.
I need to talk to him about
My
that.
boy's been in the gym. He's been working his ass off. He was working out on Thanksgiving, too, doing all that stuff.
He was, yes, he was.
He's going to be ready to go on January 18th. I have faith in Mike from State Farm, but then I obviously will see Brandon and go, oh, fuck, yeah. I forgot you're, really good at this. This is going to be tough.
Doors open 5:05, January 18th. And, it's like, why are you bringing this up now? Don't worry, because Journey 2... It's like, there's a 3-month difference. Before you know it, this show will be here.
It's already only 5 weeks away.
Yeah, before you know it,
yeah.
It will be here. Megan Gallagher, she was with us here in studio a couple weeks ago, and we're working on a new project, which will be out relatively soon here within the next week or so. But if a lot of you guys watching right now are digital content creators, a lot of you have a small business or even a side hustle. And we chuckle a lot because it's so hard sometimes to get that word out, to get that last step.
Sorry.
Now I'm mastering the fake laugh. No, but to get that last step out. And Omega, spelled Omega, video marketing.
You put the emphasis on the Meg so much. She's like, just call it Omega. Fucking stop.
That's how it's spelled. It's like the all caps and whatnot. But Megan will take good care of you, and we'll get that promotion, whether you're looking to get the word out to reach new followers or to get your business in front of the right set of eyes.
Yeah.
Megan's going to take care of you with that.
Yeah, we love the fact, too, obviously local here in Northeast Ohio, and she really focuses on the smaller businesses, trying to give you guys a platform to be able to get that next level, make that next step, to keep expanding and growing and improving your business by making, the eyeballs pop onto yours. So definitely worth giving Megan a reach and a shout out. Of course, you can find her link all throughout our social medias too, and through everything as well. So,
and again, her email for our audio listeners, meganrg440@gmail.com. That's
yes.
meganrg440@gmail.com.
Yeah, for someone who's been in the media business as long as she has too, the rates that she charges and everything as well, pretty fair.
It's really good. And again, former Emmy Award winner, so formerly worked in television, of course, talked about.
I've seen the trophy case.
Yeah,
Packed.
Yes, it's loaded. It is loaded, but definitely check it out. Omega video marketing.
She's gonna change it to all black fonts and shut the fuck up.
She's gonna be like, don't say it like that again. Like, don't do it. All right, it's time to get serious.
Maybe for you, I'm gonna laugh my ass off.
No, because I'm sick and tired. Okay, so I want to show you guys something. So again, we've been doing it. Hear me out for a little bit of time.
No, hear me out here.
Hear me out here.
HEAR.
Yeah, we've been doing it. Now 2
You
weeks
illiterate bastard.
Now that's not me. That is
literally you.
That's Opus.
You chose
That's
to cut this and put it in a slide.
That's. So a few weeks ago, I said to Dom.
What are you, a fucking car wash?
I said that. Hey, if there's a car wash company out there,
tire shine. On the...
Hey, listen, if there's a car wash company out there that want to get sponsored on our show,
hear me out here.
Hear me out. listen. Hear me out. There's a.
We found our segment.
Listen. Let me talk to you. There is a lot of crossover between wrestling fans who love to drive and your car wash. So every single week, we're going to get your message out there. Hear me out. You got people who are locked into subscriptions. They're locked into their memberships. But you want trusted car wash. You want trusted, smell good products filtering into your vehicle.
Oh, my God.
If you're a car wash company out there, reach out. Side Hustle Podcast. Double A Anthony Alfred, Kyle Cordell. Don't put them on camera. But yet. All
at some point, he's going to have to.
Go ahead, put him on camera.
What the fuck just happened?
All right, here's my real hear me
You're
out.
doing a live ad for the car wash that's not sponsoring us.
Can we send that out? Is that a smart idea to send that out?
No, probably not.
No, let's send that out.
I don't think we should.
Hear me out.
If I can rob Rizicki something. No.
9 o'clock. Listen.
Once a week.
Listen. Now, a few weeks ago, we had something fun. I said Dom Mysterio should win the Royal Rumble, which I actually stand by the way.
I fucking pulled out a Nostra Kyle and called CM Punk being the 5th member of the team.
But now it's time to be serious.
Oh, that wasn't serious.
No, that was serious. But this is like...
Well, I did say I don't think it's going to happen when I started.
we edited that part out.
No, we did.
I want to direct everyone to this tweet right here from Dustin Rhodes. Okay. Says here, and for our audio listeners, says here, here's a thought. Just enjoy wrestling. Please stop the consistent attacking. We have the most passionate wrestlers in the world. We do this for you. Hashtag I am with AEW. AEW and I love and watch all wrestling.
Sure.
Now, here's my thing. Let me get this here. For 5 years. And counting, maybe, for now. You guys have been talking about how you guys, this is where the best wrestle, right? This is where, that's I heard that tagline
where
on
the
your
big
show.
boys
Hold
play.
Up. Where the big boys play. We're the best wrestle. I've heard this on your program. And I have heard your boss talk about, WWE's had to move their show out of the big stadium and move it to an arena because they couldn't fill seats. I've heard your boss talk about how, this is how we take care of business. This is how we handle things. This is what we do. And now, to quote Xavier Woods, now you want to talk about watching all wrestling? Now you want to talk about how we should all come together? And this is not just Dustin. Taz has something similar. He tweeted something out responding to a fan because some fan called out AEW's crappy product and said, nah, we're not going to watch Collision. We're going to watch Survivor Series. And Taz came out and said, maybe you should enjoy all of it. Now we want to talk about unity among wrestling organizations? No. You don't get to victim blame here. You don't get to do that. You went ahead for 5 years and talked about how you was better than the alternative. And now that not only your ratings are down, but your ticket sales are down, you actually had to move out of a stadium in Australia to a smaller arena. You had to do that. Now you want to talk about how we all should come together? No. How about you be better at your job? How about, and Kyle was joking about you're going to crap over the fans. No, I'm not going to crap over the fans. Because week by week, month by month, as we do this show, there are less and less fans. It's not hard to figure this out, except you're too stubborn to figure it out. And now you want to play victim. No, that's not how this works. You cannot go out here and use your own company as the number one babyface of the company. It's the number one babyface on your entire television product. Because nobody cares if AEW goes down. Nobody cares if Jon Moxley takes over AEW. Actually, what does AEW stand for in the first place? Who are you as an organization? Oh, this is where the sickos? Well, you're losing them, too. Be better. Step up. I don't know. Do some storytelling. I don't know. Don't pick the wrong people to lead your television shows. I don't know. Find some individual rivalries and take full advantage of those. Don't come to us about, oh, we have to be united. We're going to actually do a special show coming up very soon, by the way, and I sent out surveys. I was like, what's your overall thoughts of this? What's your overall thoughts of that? A lot of responses, overall thoughts of WWE, this. There were some criticisms, but Not one survey came back to me when I asked, what's your overall thoughts of AEW? Not one survey came back with a positive response. It was either this product is inconsistent, it sucks, or I don't watch. I don't think fans have an issue watching wrestling. I think fans have an issue watching you.
You know, for the first time, it wasn't me that shit on AEW today. It was AA. Tony Khan needs to shut his fucking mouth, and he needs to go away. Not AEW. Put someone in charge who knows what they're doing. I would take Jim Cornette over Tony Khan right now. At least he'd stabilize some shit. I mean, I have things I disagree with him, especially when it comes to women's wrestling, but like, at least he'd be able to stabilize it. You'd be able to build some viewership back up. You may lose some idiots along the way, and that includes some talent. Bischoff is doing a one-shot with MLW. He's dipping his toe back in. He's been on AEW programming. Get the fuck out of there, because you can blame fans for this tribalism, but it was you who basically called WWE Diddy at one point. You said you were Sprite and the WWE were pedophiles, essentially.
Not essentially. That's what was said.
That was almost an exact quote. I won't go verbatim, but because I don't remember, because honestly, I don't give a fuck what Tony Khan says. But you said this kind of stuff. You've taken shots. You called it the Wednesday Night Wars with their developmental show that you barely outdrew. Well, at your peak, barely outdrew. You guys, you did this. Everyone wanted an alternative because WWE was bad. There was a couple bright spots, but it was bad programming. It was the wrong person that was in charge. And we've seen what happens when the right person is in charge of something, how good something can be. If we're bitching about Survivor Series, that was, for the most part, a solid show, but we expected more.
Mm-hmm.
If that's the worst show we see, we're pretty fucking happy with the product. That show at Survivor Series was better than any Dynamite you're going to watch. Better than by far, any Collision. And God rest its soul, fucking Rampage going to be gone soon, too. And if the pay-per-views, it's better than most of those two, unless you like spot fests and just really good matches with no actual full-on storytelling. Minus maybe one or two that have something halfway decent. But that's it. Tony Khan needs to go away. If there was ever a time for a faceless, nameless billionaire to be backing a company and we never know who the fuck it is, it's now.
It would be great.
He's in charge, and he's taking it. He's taking it. He's the one making these decisions. He needs to go.
Yeah, it's just
I wish he didn't need to go. He didn't need to get fired himself or anything like that. He needs to take a step back. Talk to fucking Shane McMahon. At least he's been a part of something successful.
Mm-hmm.
That's shown growth. I won't even say AEW wasn't successful. They have a new TV deal, all that stuff. Everyone's going to, well, why you fucking bitch about it? Because it's our job. It's what we do. We get paid to talk about this shit now. So, sorry, we're going to fucking talk about it. And if we think there's problems, we're going to address it. If you don't agree with it, then don't listen to us. Eat a fucking dick and move on with your life.
Well, here's the thing, too. We have not had many requests for people because we have not talked AEW topics in a long time, honestly.
My blood pressure has been low for a while. It's been great.
And we have not had people who come to us to say, how come you guys don't talk more AEW?
No one's ever said that
No
to
one
us.
has said that to us.
Even the guy we pulled at SummerSlam that was on the street that watched AEW was like, I kind of get it. I'm like, yeah. But again, he's a loyal fan. He doesn't want. He's going to go down with the ship. That's great. I don't think AEW is going anywhere.
The problem, though, is that now the loyal fan. Here's the other thing, because by all accounts, you know, when you do the surveys of like great places to work at, like your family's taken care of, things like that. AEW, by most accounts, is a great place to work at. In terms of family security and things like that.
It's a great place to have a contract, but not a great place if you want to be utilized properly and feel fulfillment in your job.
But you cannot just piss the opportunity away. And that's the part that's tough. It feels like right now you're seeing a product that, man, loaded with talent. We say this every time. But every opportunity that they get, and let's be real about it too. In my eyes, I know a lot of people are going to say, oh, some people went away. Some went away when Cody went to WWE. I know a good chunk of people went away when CM Punk left. My jump to shark moment actually happened on this show. It actually was the week after AEW Dynasty.
You were so high.
I wish we
could.
could pull the clip from that show.
Oh my god, that was hilarious.
Because I'm
glad I could bring you back down to earth.
It was the A block of the show.
You were sipping the Tony Khan Kool-Aid. You were like, "Fuck yeah, baby, this is gonna be great."
Because the pay-per-view was. It was my first time watching Will Ospreay. If I could just take Will Ospreay and bring him to WWE, I would.
He didn't want to do it,
but he didn't want to do it.
He didn't want to have structure.
Call.
He didn't want to work his way up. He wanted to be where he was. So,
yeah,
I mean, whatever. I mean,
and he burnt that opportunity. But fine, whatever.
I don't think he burnt a bridge. He just said no. So I mean, or took the other offer.
But that week, I'm like, all right, the wrestling's there. I could talk up the wrestling. They did a nice angle with Bryan Danielson. They did this. Like, here we go. And I wish I could pull that effing breakdown of how they opened that following Dynamite.
It was rough.
Not just rough. That was the moment where they jumped the shark, in my opinion. Time and time again this year, AEW's had moments where fans want to talk about what they want to do. Like, hey, we have a high storyline. And they never deliver. And after 3 strikes of not delivering,
you lose interest.
Bye-bye.
And
now they have this Jon Moxley takeover feud, and that has no direction.
Well, because now the Bucks are going to come back and save AEW, right? Because everyone wants to see that. It's like, the guy's never booked TV before. The guys that he has helping him have never booked TV before. He's not taking advice from anyone. That's why maybe Shane can break through. I don't know.
And now he's playing victim.
Yeah.
I'm not pointing at Dustin Rhodes, but he's an employee. He's doing his job. I'm not blaming Dustin.
He's telling talent what to say, I'm sure too, like and what to say it and how to
now
approach
he's
it.
playing.
It's
now
PR.
Tony is playing victim. Oh, you need to watch all of us. No, we'll watch WWE. We'll watch Exodus. We'll watch AEW. We'll watch a lot of these other.
I'll even watch a little bit of TNA because I like Joe Hendry.
We'll watch TNA. Wrestling is not the problem in 2024.
Not anymore. You could have said WWE was the problem in 2018, 2019, and that's why people.
And it was.
That's why people gave you good faith and watched the show. You bobbled it, and the reason why, Time Warner, whoever's fucking, I forget now, for TNT,
Warner Brothers,
Discovery, whatever. why they gave you the money for a new TV deal with a little bit of a raise, is because even at your lower ratings, which they've dropped consistently year over year, you're still like the third highest, second highest show on Wednesday night. Congratulations.
They lost the NBA. That's why. Let's cut right to the chase. They lost the NBA.
They had
that's
disposable
why they
income.
had. If they had the money, if they would have kept the NBA, y'all would have been gone.
There's a reason why WWE is swerved a little bit from NBC Universal, is because NBC's having some issues. That's why they went with Netflix for Raw. $5 billion.
Let me
Remember
add
that.
one more thing. In 2019, 2020, when AEW was starting up, they focused on individual feuds. They focused on personality. Nobody in this generation goes around and says, "Oh, I love WWE." Nobody says that. People do say they love Triple H. People do say they love his direction. People do say they love certain wrestlers and certain people and certain entertainment. Nobody goes out and says they love said company. And in 2019, 2020, 2021, AEW focused on individual storylines. So if you were invested in Kenny Omega, Cody Rhodes, Jon Moxley, Chris Jericho, and Britt Baker, many others, you're watching the show because you want to see them perform.
Yeah.
You want to see their stories. And WWE was not capitalizing on that under Vince McMahon. They weren't taking advantage of stories. They were bad stories. Today, they don't focus on individual stories, maybe for the exception of Bobby Lashley, Swerve, Darby. I don't know. That's it.
There's
no individual storytelling.
There's certain things you can. Well, what about this story? Like, what about it?
Yeah.
Who the fuck cares? Like, why should I give a shit? Like, there's no why, who, what. It's the thing you learn when we do media training on your first day. Who, what, where, when, why, how.
Mm-hmm.
Answer the simple questions, and you'll get simple people that don't normally watch your show to buy in and invest. And remind them. Show them video packages. Show them what happened the week before. Keep it fresh with that constant reminder of like, hey, this is why these guys are here. You know, not everyone's watched your show since 2019 and know that Chris Jericho has had 14 different gimmicks in the past 2 years.
And 14 different NDAs, allegedly.
Hmm.
About that. We didn't mention that part.
Speaking of rapid fire, good God. Take it easy on the poor man.
Man,
You're never going to get invited to that cruise now.
I guess not.
Yeah, that's a shame.
Man, I got to learn how to swim first.
You
all
know how
right.
to swim?
I do not.
Really?
No swimming for AA. No,
Oh, yeah.
no swimming. No.
We're doing a pool party this
Uh-uh.
summer.
That's fine. I'll be on the 2 feet side.
No.
We can do a pool
As
party.
a grown, listen, as a grown adult man, you need to know how to fucking swim. Even if it's doggy paddling, we're gonna get
It's
you.
gonna be that. We'll be at Bedford Community Pool on the.
It's right there. It's right by my work, so it works out pretty well. I can walk from my work there.
on the kiddie side, there.
No, you're going.
I was doing sprints. in the
diving
pool.
board, deep end.
Absolutely not. No.
Absolutely.
No.
You can float.
No. If you do that, somebody's gonna die.
No one's gonna die.
It might be me. But if I make it out, it'll be you.
They have this thing. This thing at pools. They're called lifeguards. That's what they're. Yeah, they're there for you if you need it.
So
So
what?
they'll be there to help
So
you.
what?
You mean so what?
So what? What? I was trying.
I'll talk to your better half about
I was
this.
trying to. No, don't do that.
Oh, you're damn right. I
Don't
will.
do that.
Oh,
Please
yeah.
don't do that.
I'm gonna send her a text right now.
No, please don't do that. We're gonna end up going to Kalahari like tomorrow. Then well, I'm
Fuck,
saying
that'd
I'm
be
s-
great. We
I'm
should
saying
do that.
like, no, we should not.
You don't really have to swim there. Just water slides.
No, okay. You guys have fun. I'll be at the adult pool with the alcoholic slushies.
We can all do that and go on water slides.
That's cool.
You're not swimming on a water slide.
No,
You go-
I don't mind the waters. I don't mind the water slides. It's not the big one.
He's in like the 18 inches of water that like at the
just
bottom
give me
pool.
the little water slide. Oh, look at that. I'm making sure everyone like is like safe. When you get to the bottom. Like I can't stand like when like the big ones, like you're in the tube, you can't see where you're going.
Oh my god!
Like you're just over
This guy
here.
worked at Cedar Point for 15 years and he has a problem with water slides.
Yes. I took people's money.
Ridiculous.
I didn't operate the rides.
You're ridiculous.
I told you how to
Cedar
play the
Point
games.
is actually a really good idea, and I think we should do that. Not Cedar Point, but Kalahari.
I was gonna say, how's your thoughts on roller coaster rides, Mr. Tall Man?
Oh, I fucking hate roller coasters.
See, that's
But I have a reason.
I have a reason too.
You didn't drown when you were 3, and now you fucking hate swimming and you don't want to learn. I got stuck on top of the dragster for fucking 30 minutes. Why the fuck do you think I hate roller coasters?
Listen, if I get stuck in a pool for longer than 10 seconds, I'm done.
I got you.
What if
I touch the bottom anywhere at Kalahari, just standing up.
Well,
I got you.
No, of course you do.
I got you.
But what
they
if
got floaties when you walk in? I got you.
Well, they don't have floaties at the Bedford Community Pool.
Well, fuck the Bedford Community Pool. We're going to Kalahari. This is what this show's turning into.
They don't have the Bedford Community Pool. I wanted to try out
one shot on me, Pete. Go
ahead, man.
If you happen to know a swimming instructor and/or lifeguard, please contact the Side Hustle Wrestling Podcast to help my shell of a man over here, who in his early to, let's be honest, closer to mid-30s, attempt to swim for the first time in his life. You can make a difference in this world if you call the number 867-5309. Do it now. He's so hood. He wears pants below his waist.
Listen.
Man, that hood was strong.
Listen.
I peeled your face off like you're in
It
a
almost
cage.
did. It almost did. Listen. If any swimming pool community center wants to sponsor this show, great. If you want us to do a live remote,
they're all fucking city-owned. The city of Bedford sponsors the Side Hustle Wrestling.
Listen.
Kalahari. I got family that works there.
We'll welcome Kalahari.
Hell yeah.
Listen, we'll do a live remote. I am not doing any demonstrations in the pool. No.
I'm going to do the entire show just going down the water.
You can do that. I'm sure people will have equipment
give me a
set up for
waterproof
you.
lav mic. And
that's cool. You do right. You can do that. I'm gonna be like.
Be sick. A go. Yeah.
Every segment will be like, hey, how was it? How was it? Yeah.
What a party pooper.
All right, have fun. I'll be right here. I'll be right here.
Do you want some sheets for the bed you just shit in?
I'll be right here. Yeah, man.
Anyway, rapid fire.
I think it's done. We did. Your thoughts on Dominic Mysterio getting cheered on Monday?
About fucking time.
Yeah.
Put all that work in to make him the heel, and they dirty Dom, dirty. I'm like, holy shit! Like, this Raw is amazing, dude. Dom's getting fucking cheered. The New Day breakup, kind of. Like this is, oh my god.
Everything about Raw was fantastic.
Fucking show. One of the top shows all year. Like,
yeah.
Watch the replay if you have to.
Everything about it was great.
Yeah.
It was again. They knew Monday Night Football was a bit weaker this week, of course, with the Browns and Broncos. So it's like, hey, you guys got 30 minutes. We're gonna deliver these 30 minutes. But Dom, I don't want to see him turn babyface. No, I don't want.
Not yet. No. But this is the seed that's being planted. It's the Eddie Guerrero turn that will happen at some point.
It's being planted. Him and Finn. If you listen to Finn, we'll be okay.
If you listen to Finn, you'll win. Corny ass shit.
Women's Intercontinental Championship.
Thank you, Raw, for being a couple weeks late, but I know why you did it. Can't wait for the champion to be announced at the Netflix Raw. It's going to be fantastic. I get why they did it. But they could have also just announced it at the same time. But
well, one show does it, and another show has to do the same thing. Oh, we got to do the same format, too, the triple threat.
It gets more people
in it,
people
on
the
show.
Yeah.
It gets people on.
Who should win the women's IC title?
Good question.
I lean towards Raquel, just because it also could give Rhea something to do, and not be a live based, which would be kind of cool. But
by the way, did you realize Rhea Ripley's going to have her first singles match on Raw all year? I think since the beginning of the year.
Yeah,
unbelievable. That's great.
Remember, because she was the champion, but she never wrestled.
I need to actually, because I do not. This is bad on my part. I apologize.
Who's in it?
I do not remember who's actually in the women's tournament.
Dakota Kai won the first triple threat match with Shayna Baszler.
Mm-hmm.
and I forget the other person that was in that match.
Chance.
Katana Chance, yeah. Who's his tag team wrestler, so she wasn't going to win it. But a lot of people are thinking Dakota's the favorite.
By the way, how about her coming out, Dakota, not and they identified her as part of Damage Control, but her own music and her
by
own
herself.
everything by herself right after the Damage Control segment.
Yep.
Like, pretty interesting.
Oh.
Let me look quickly. Triple H. Okay. Oh, yeah. Zelina Vega. She's going to fight next week.
Yeah. She's in the match with Lyra and with Raquel?
Nile.
Ivy now. Okay.
Yeah.
Makes more sense.
And then, Kaden Carter. Oh, Damian Priest's girlfriend.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Interesting. And then Natalia.
And Raquel.
Alba Fire. Yeah.
Where the hell is Raquel in this? Oh, she's on the other side.
Yeah, she was Stark and Kate. Yeah, she's going to be in the final probably. Maybe. Now she's going to face Dakota Kai in the
probably.
semifinal.
I would. Now they could also find a way to like make Zoe Stark get there or something like that. See, they could, because she's for some reason won matches maybe she shouldn't have.
Yeah.
And also, you don't really want to bury Raquel, so you could have Rhea interfere in that. But
is this the time for? This is an interesting field.
I mean, my heart says Dakota Kai and Lyra, but
is it time for Lyra to win the big one because she made the final, the Queen of the Ring tournament? It's her opportunity to win the big one.
She was in the final 2 with Liv for the Women's World Championship.
Actually, you know what? Her time to win this is not now. She needs to make the final and come up short again.
So she can
win the Rumble. Win the Rumble.
Is she a big enough star right now for that? I think mid-card maybe is
more...
It
depends on what they want to go for the Women's Rumble. It depends.
Because this is honestly, the past couple of years we kind of knew.
Mm-hmm.
Like, okay, it seemed like maybe Cody be there a couple times. It seemed like, Becky was going to win it that one year, and, Rhea's going to win it this year or whatever. Who won? Bailey won it last year. We
Bailey
both predicted
won it last
that.
year. Mm-hmm.
I don't know who's winning the Rumbles this year. I get a feeling it's going to be a very nostalgia-based WrestleMania. So it could be like a Cena, Punk, one of those guys.
Becky Lynch. She
Charlotte.
comes back. If Becky comes back, it's like, I'm declaring myself in the Royal Rumble.
Yeah, however she does that. Alexa could be another option too if they want to shoot her to the moon.
Could be. Lot of
maybe if Carmella's foot hasn't fell off yet, she could try and get it. Quick recovery, sweetheart. Listen, I'm sorry. I'm not. All jokes aside, I feel bad for you. I'm happy the baby's healthy. That's awesome.
I want to mention this real quick. Then we'll leave the show, and you can send over some swimming lessons for me.
Yeah. Stroke.
Because we taped last week, we did not get an opportunity to talk about the confrontation between Cody Rhodes and Carmelo Hayes. I thought that was outstanding.
Mm-hmm.
Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness.
He's gonna be a star, man. I'm telling you. They have all the time in the world. He's 28. I mean, he's got all the time in the world.
And Cody, like I mentioned it on social media, but to see that side of him, and we're gonna see on Friday. I think 2 more shows before Saturday night's main event, but something has been unleashed now that like Cody needed a non-bloodline defining feud. And this is it here with Kevin Owens, and then even his work with Melo. Like, wow.
And Randy's always in the background. What's going to happen with him through all this? Is it going to be a match with Kevin? Is it going to be a swerve on Cody? We don't know yet. So
we cannot wait, and we'll definitely check that out. All right, we're going to wrap. Again, check out all BA Sweeties, of course, 677 Brook Park Road in Cleveland, Ohio. Mike from State Farm in Cleveland Heights, and Omega Video Marketing.
The most normal you've said it to this point. Good job, buddy.
Omega. It's at the end of the show. If you heard that part, then God bless you.
There's no hash marks in between the O, the Meg, and the He just likes to say it like that.
We got a lot
the font is slightly bigger, so I have to.
A lot of great stuff coming up. Follow us on the social media platforms. We are there. YouTube, TikTok, Instagram, and of course LPV Productions on YouTube.
Some basketball coming up maybe in January too. Excited
so we're gonna have to change. We'll change the football graphic over to basketball pretty soon. Actually, now because football season's done. Speaking of football, Kirtland made the state final again. 59 offensive plays.
59 rushes.
59 rushing attempts.
Also, I know they're not technically in an area, but shout out to Avon for finally beating the actual D1 team, Hoban, and beating the shit out of them, by the way.
On a neutral site.
Wow. Yeah, in fucking Akron.
Yeah, how about that?
At Infosystem Stadium.
yeah.
That's so neutral.
How about that?
Good. Really happy for Avon. Hope they go all the way. I started my official career, my professional career in broadcasting in Lorain County, and watched them struggle.
I know.
Getting to that point, always losing.
We covered them in OMS, and
Yeah.
every season is like Avon has a standout season, and then there's Hoban right there. So
go
finally,
to D1, Hoban.
yeah.
Just do it.
Finally, after all of that, so we saw a lot of great football. The point is, you're going to see some great basketball.
Yeah.
On that channel, on that CVC TV channel, you'll see some of that. Plus, Voice of the Land, new episodes. Had a new episode last night. Every Wednesday, they're going to be breaking down the quarterback situation with Jameis.
Please, Lord, deliver me from pick sixes.
So definitely check that out. And we're done here for now. We're going to have some special shows coming up within the next month.
Get fucking pumped. It's almost
Within
been
the
a year.
next month.
It's almost been a year.
We're going to have a town hall. We're going to have we're going to have an award show and the 1 year anniversary coming up.
1 year.
1 year of the hustle.
You putting up with my shit.
1 year of the Silos.
How about
podcast.
that? We made it.
We made it. We started over there at that table, and now we're here.
I have a pitch for Pete about doing the show in like 3 different locations just because we can. So we start at the desks, we work over to the green screen, and then we finish in the chairs over the other side of the studio.
I might actually sign off on that idea. Okay, Pete
to show the growth that we've been able to.
Can we do like a walking shot all the way through, like Terry? So Terry Bradshaw, when he introduced like Fox NFL Sunday,
Fuck, Terry needs to get
introduced
off TV.
the entire studio. This is 30 years ago. He introduced the entire studio.
30 years ago.
Yeah, it was 30 years ago.
Terry needs to get off TV. Hot take.
That ain't a hot take. That's a reasonable.
When you start calling the highlights for the wrong game and still think you're right. Time to go, Terry.
He was like,
I don't want your money. I want you to go home.
No, Terry was like, yeah, this quarterback Tua, Miami, they don't struggle in cold weather at all. And immediately they show a graphic. Yeah, Tua's 1-7. In cold weather, 0-4 under 40 degrees.
Oh, Terry.
Be safe out there. Enjoy the weekend. We'll see you guys next week.
Next week, we're here, I think.